Good day, Professor Akande. Thank you for joining us today. As chair of the scientific committee, tell us what is your role? What do you do?
Oh, okay. Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. Yeah, no, as chair of scientific committee of the conference, I think that has to do majorly with the overall activities that borders on the papers that are presented, arrangement of majorly the conference sessions, issues that have to do with having your guest speakers, preparing the programs and the like. So it's more or less like the heart of conference organization. Yeah.
What's your take on the second edition of the MIT conference thus far?
Well, so far so good. Yeah, I mean, this year we had a lot more delegates than we had last year, being the maiden edition. And this year we found that, in fact, there were quite more that we couldn't even accommodate. And having to be here since morning, looking at the sessions, the plenary session, even the breakaway rooms. I was quite impressed with the number of people attending sessions in the breakaway rooms and ensuring that with the concentration, with the engagement, I think it's been quite nice. I think we had built on what we had last year.
So, Prof, building on that, what went into preparations for this year's conference that was different from the first edition of the conference?
Well, not a big difference in terms of, because it's, I mean, organizing conference more or less is about the same thing. But again, you find that you have to intensify efforts in marketing and the likes. Yeah, you need to ensure that you get various stakeholders involved, especially even within WSU ecosystem itself. And beyond, we then have to ensure that we extend our reach to even conferences that we attended, to just a bit market it more than it used to be. Otherwise, every other thing more or less the same.
What are your reflections for all the submissions that were made for this year's presentations in relation to the theme for this year's conference, as well as WUSU's research as part of Vision 2030?
Well, I think MIT conference as it is more about multi-transdisciplinary conferences. And the expectation is that you have diverse submissions from every, from delegates from academics that attend the conference. And so the central point is that we are in an era where a particular discipline is not able to provide solution to human issues, and especially as African, where we want to be, where we are, and the issue of the developmental issues that we have. And so some of the submissions that we have got are submissions that you have collaborative efforts, where you have authors from diverse fields coming to solve a particular problem and putting them together in some of the presentations that we have. And I think it's a good one for research at WSU. If you look at the profile and the structure of even delegates, you'll find that we have quite a number of WSU delegates. And that in itself speaks to research culture within the university. And I think it's growing. And put that together, we can be sure that we can promote and drive the Africa that we want. with respect to your vision 2030, where we're looking at driving down issues of poverty and ensure that we have the kind of development that we all are looking for.
So collaborations has been a big buzzword since the first edition last year. What, in your view, is the importance of academic collaborations even beyond the conference itself?
Okay, I think collaboration in itself, because as I've earlier alluded to, an individual or a particular field is not now sufficient in solving particular problems. And so you find that also collaborators have different skills, different expertise. And so these expertise are brought into a particular problem to solve. And so that way, you're not only increasing research, you also have the capacity to solve much more problem than an individual will be solving. And so that way you can also address human and social issues without even having to maybe having to stress yourself. Yeah, maybe as an individual trying to solve those kind of problems. Yeah, so that's where collaboration is, and there's no way you would do a robust research without having such features.
Finally, Prof Akande, can you share with us the thought process of handpicking the speakers that we have as we see on the program in the conference?
Okay, I think majorly when it comes to guest speakers, you want to look at the pedigree of a speaker. You want to look at the research profile. You want to look at what they do in terms of whether or not the contribution they've made within their space, their field of research and the like. And so you want someone who is able to, that delegate would see and be interested to listen to. Because most of the conferences we also attend, we look at the guest speakers, and might be people that are influentials in their field that you want to meet, you want to talk to, you want to interact. That can be a reason for even attending a conference in the first place. And so those really are key in trying to be key factors in determining, okay, who is invited as a keynote speaker or even as a guest speaker in our conference.
Professor Akande, thank you so much for joining us today. And once again, congratulations on the success of the conference thus far.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.